Hey, what is going on, guys? We have some very exciting news today. I mean, honestly, we've kind of known for this past week that we've been getting some hints that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 was, the remaster, remake, whatever it might be, right? We had, I believe it was a skateboarder who was already on the game, right? He was already featured in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and two's remake, right? But then he basically said, no, he's talking about the new ones that are coming out. So there's really no other ones because Tony Hawk even explained in a stream that I'd say maybe a year ago that basically Bobby Cocksucker had canceled Pro Skater 3 and 4's remakes and they had merged the studio to help with Diablo 4, which made no fucking sense to me. Like, how do you do that I don't get it. They saw the sales for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remakes and said, nah, we're just gonna, let's forget about it. Like, the sad part is Activision might be trying to come back in some way of actually making games because it was very crazy to think that a studio like Toys for Bob was making Call of. But it doesn't make sense how you can make. I don't. It doesn't make sense how Toys for Bob should be making Call of Duty maps instead of what they were doing. I mean, Activision has not released a new game since 2018. And I don't want to count the Call of Duty games because that's not new. That's Call of Duty. You could say a new game, but that's not the same thing. So, and then they made, and then they thought, Bobby Cocksucker thought, why not? Let's just make it where, let's cancel Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remakes, and let's go. I want to merge you together with Blizzard, and you guys are gonna work on basically Diablo 4. I mean, dude, it just makes no sense. And now I think we're actually back because Tony Hawk himself confirmed, because there's an event happening in Call of Duty that has a date. It's for March 4th. 3 and 4 basically confirms. It's basically getting confirmed that on March 4th we are supposed to get a reveal of something related to Tony Hawk. Now, I won't be surprised if we get some skins in there because there is a skateboard that is going to be coming into the game that you can use as like a melee weapon. That's there, right? But the big thing is Tony Hawk's, with his little eye emojis. Like, I mean, dude, it kind of confirms what it is. And we had that one skateboarder basically confirm that, he is an upcoming remaster. He calls it a remaster, but I mean, pretty sure he means remake because, he was in the very first Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. So... and he is in 3 and 4, so it kind of makes sense. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a full-fledged remake. I don't think it's a remaster like that. I think they want to remake them because, I mean, dude, why would you not? Like, why would you remake, 1 and 2 and then not want to remake 3 and 4? I'm sure they were, and plus, they were already halfway done with 3 and 4, so I'm assuming they just carried up, they basically went back to that and thought, let's just, finish it up and release it. So maybe Tony Hawk finally got the message. Maybe the 10,000 tweets I made at him finally convinced him. Who knows? But all this confirms to me now is that we are really close to getting Underground 2, American Wasteland remakes with online support. We are so close, man. I don't believe we'll get them this year, but next year or 2026, 27 is a promising year for skateboarding games. And I don't care for Skate, guys, to be honest. That shit's taking way too long. I mean, honestly, look, I'm just going to say it. I prefer Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2 and American Wasteland over Skate. I don't care. That's just the way I see it. And if you remake those games, I'm going to be playing one. And, that's, I mean, of course, you could play both. Who cares? But honestly, hearing the news that we're very close to getting, Underground 1 and 2 and American Wasteland. Because, guys, if you remember way back during the PS3 days, right, we used to ask them, like, hey, would we get a remaster for American Wasteland? Could we get a remaster for, because it was remasters back then. We didn't really ever talk about remakes. It was remasters. Remakes started talking about, around the PS4 generation, like close to the end. And, we were close. I had hope when we got Pro Skater 1 and 2's remakes. But then after that, we kind of got nothing else. And then, we had a terrible person working at Activision who was the head of Activision who was basically messing everything up. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be honest, Bobby Kotick, and Infinity Ward are the biggest L's Call of Duty has seen. I mean, Infinity Ward released Modern Warfare 2019, and then afterwards they decided to release that dog shit in 2022. Basically ruined Warzone, ruined Call of Duty, and you had to have a Sledgehammer. You had to have Moon Studios, all them working on every studio and any studio had to be working on Call of Duty because of Infinity Ward's mess up. It's one of the craziest things, man. But enough rambling about Infinity Ward, Activision's L's. This today's a W because we are gonna most definitely be getting Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remakes, and then after that, honestly, dude, it's really like it would be dumb of them not to remake Underground 1, 2, and American Wasteland. Like you can't, like how can you miss, like you can't not remake those games. Those are like top 3 games people remember from the generation. I mean, you can't tell me you didn't have a bunch of stoner friends who were, so and so skateboarders, right? Their only games they had, or at least in their collection, right, was Tony Hawk Underground 1 and 2, San Andreas, and then, that was their collection, right? So at the end of the day, everyone and anyone knew about this game and they played it. Like you had a bunch of people with this game. I mean, especially on PS2. So yeah, man. Let me know down below what you think about this news. Are you excited? I mean, what were your favorite Tony Hawk games growing up? My personally favorite ones were, Underground 1 and 2 and American Wasteland. Those are my top, like, those are just my favorite Tony Hawk games. Those are my favorite skateboarding games. So, yeah, man, let me know down below what you guys think. And also, remember to like the video and comment. It helps out, shares the video around. And also subscribe because, let's try to get to 2,000 subscribers. We're very close. We're not close, but we can get there. We can get there. So, appreciate it, guys. Peace.